clip I wanted to get your reaction to, and that's a dire warning that's been issued by Kyle Kulinski. Do not click away. This is a dire warning to every single American by Kyle Kulinski. He's done it in the middle of picking his children up from school. So you can tell how important it is. He was clearly in his car, got this news, pulled over in the parking lot early, and decided to broadcast about this so he could issue this warning. Do you have any thoughts to get into before we hear Kyle's thoughts on the Epstein file release?
I think I watched this one yesterday, and yeah, it's on point. I think what Kyle's saying is definitely something we have to worry about here.
Let's take a look.
427-1 was the vote. Now, here's the thing, though, that everybody needs to get. And I understand I'm raining on everybody's parade right now. I understand this is going to make a lot of people upset, but I got to tell you the truth. The fact of the matter is this is all a trick. This is all a trick. So here are the potential ways this unfolds from here. So now the bill to release the Epstein files passes the House. Now it goes to the Senate. The Senate leader, majority leader, I should say, John Thune, he could come out and say, we're not going to allow a vote on it. Sorry, it's over. Done. Boom. That's it. Dunzo, like that. So that's possible that he just comes out and says, we're not going to allow a vote on it.
Which didn't happen. They did vote on it.
Yes.
And it passed.
So hopefully this next part doesn't happen, but this is what I'm a little more worried about.
Possible, if not likely, that he actually comes out and says, we are going to allow a vote on it. The Epstein files and how this is a massive the groundswell of support for releasing the Epstein files and how this is a massive hot button issue. Only 45% of Republican voters like how Trump and Republicans are handling the Epstein files. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on them. So in a scenario where Thune comes out and says, you know what, we are going to allow a vote on this, what happens then? Well, in one scenario, the bill just dies because it gets voted down. That is very possible that happens. And then it's dead. But in a different scenario, they could vote to pass it also through the Senate. Now, even in that case, I regret to inform you, you're not going to get to see the full unredacted Epstein files. It's not going to happen. And here's why.
That would be pretty funny, though, if they did just release the full unredacted Epstein files and Trump is just straight up implicated in it. And they're just like, well, this is what you asked for. Yep, the president is, in fact, a pedophile. What are we supposed to do about it? He has immunity. He's the president. Deal with it. Like
he's a white hat pedophile, and you guys aren't. You guys are missing the appropriate context. Look at what a tremendous job he did exposing all of this.
Yup, he was the undercover agent there to expose the ring of corruption. But yeah, I mean, I do totally agree with Kyle. If in the event that this eventually gets released in, like, what are they saying, 40 days from now?
Yeah,
it's going to be redacted as fuck. Like, it's not going to be. It's gonna be like what? Remember, like the first time they like released the JFK files, and it was just like a bunch of fucking crap, and like all the good stuff was redacted. That's basically what it's gonna be. I mean, obviously, we've already found out a bunch of crazy shit, like the Larry Summers thing. He had to like resign from all of his positions.
Oh yeah, they already got rid of his office at Harvard. It was like overnight. They were like, oh shit, he's gone. I was like, honestly, at least fuck Larry Summers.
Exactly. So it's like stuff like that will come out. But yeah, obviously they're not just going to release a document that says Trump is a fucking pedophile and was, best friends with like they're obviously going to redact all the good stuff about Trump. So Kyle is 100% right about that. And if anyone is like really, have their hopes up that as soon as that 40 days goes by, that they're just going to drop the document in its entirety, obviously not.
Yeah, and I think that's really important for everyone to remember, because Donald Trump just like kind of overnight did a 180 on his position on it, right? He was so opposed to having these Epstein documents come out. He was livid with everyone. I mean, everybody remembers the Marjorie Taylor Brown, the tweets about Thomas Massey's wife dying. I mean, he was unhinged. I mean, he's on a Truth Social meltdown today talking about like fucking treason and putting people to death and all these kinds of things, right? He's really pissed off about this, but it came to such a head that his grand plan, and really I should say the grand plan from his advisors close to him, is that he should change his position on the matter and that he should embrace the Epstein files coming out, but that they're going to just manicure it to all fuck, that they're going to just redact it to all fuck, and maybe even just get rid of information selectively before they release it that's going to manicure it and make Donald Trump look better. I'll add, this is something that's been, discussed by Khanna and Thomas Massey, people who have been kind of leading the charge on this. Khanna warns that DOJ officials that he's confident the files can be verified and properly released, but he also warns that they'll face prosecution if they violate the laws governing the disclosure of the Epstein files. I don't think they're shaking in their shoes. I think that they absolutely will violate laws. But I
Trump
hope,
administration?
yeah,
You think they would violate the laws and norms of
I
this
don't
great
want to
nation?
get too far on a limb, but I am at least encouraged that that's something that is, the Ro Khanna, Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the people who have been leading this charge, they're aware of, and their next effort after that will be to, bring charges that the disclosure laws were violated. Now, do I think that will be the undoing of the Trump administration? No, but I just like to see that these people are out here following it to the end.
I mean, I would argue that this has already become the undoing of the Trump administration.
True.
I mean, it might not literally end up with Trump in a jail cell, but
Right.
as far as like any semblance of popularity or a mandate or an ability to actually
again.
romp in the midterms, like, yeah, it's over, it's done. And I gotta say, we've given the man shit before, but a huge fucking shout out to Ro Khanna, bro. Literally, out of every single goddamn Democrat in the entire government, this man has fucking ruthlessly fought the Trump administration on this. He understood how important it was to the young people, to the online people, to the even Republicans and independents. Like, Ro fucking Khanna, bro. Obviously, in addition to Thomas Massey, but Ro Khanna has just absolutely killed this. His instincts have been on point. We were kind of criticizing him the other day, and we're like, we agree with him a lot, but like, does he really have the killer instincts that would actually allow him to be a good candidate in a presidential election? I'm not going to say he's a front runner in 2028 or anything based off of this, but this does really increase my opinion of his abilities to maneuver as a political animal and to understand, when to really go for the jugular, as he did here with the Trump administration, along with Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene, like borderline, bringing the whole fucking house of cards down by just refusing to let this die. And even if Trump does redact all the good shit, I don't think it's going to save him. Why? Because we've already been seeing leak after leak after leak, right? Like fucking the birthday book, this creepy fucking emails that clearly prove Trump knew, the dog that hasn't barked, all this kind of shit. Like, that stuff's not going to stop. Even if Trump scrubs every fucking mention of himself out of that shit, the truth is still arguably already out there, but it's only going to keep getting more and more obvious.
Yeah, and just look at how the mainstream press is covering Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna explains how he helped engineer the vote that ripped MAGA apart. I'm telling you guys, this is what mainstream Democrats want to see from their party. And I was right there next to Gavin saying, like, I don't know if I can trust this guy. He's rich as fuck. Like, he does a lot of stock trades, even though he says it's in a blind trust. He's still making money off of fucking Palantir and ICE abductions and all these kinds of things. And we wailed and we screamed, and I had some back and forth and, in exchanges with Congressman Ro Khanna. And I always have had to say, like, I appreciate the fact that he'll engage with the knuckleheads like us, people who have been very critical of him. I have tweeted out on all capital letters, like mean thing, not mean, but like just like really angry and upset things about what the fuck, Ro Khanna, like, you fucking sell out. Like, how dare you try and pretend to the American people you're a progressive while you're profiting off of ICE abductions? And then he'll just calmly respond and he'll be like, well, I respect that you're so engaged with your constituency, but the reality is that this is a blind trust and I did not make any of those, and he will come out there and he will talk to you and he will engage, and he's not afraid of it, and he doesn't get angry, and he does it with everyone. And I think that I'm starting to feel like he might be my preferred candidate of anyone that's going to run. I know it's crazy, and I know people are mad. He kind of, was like, hey, let's be soft with Elon Musk in a way that I also went after his fucking ass for, right? But I just think when it comes to the real issues, affordability, raising the minimum wage, going after the criminals in our government, nobody is making it as central to their campaign as him. And honestly, like, man, I kind of jumped down Gavin's throat when he said that Bernie might endorse Ro Khanna over AOC, and I was like, what are you talking about? AOC is the future. I'm starting to come around to the idea that Ro Khanna could be the progressive option in 2028.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to translate some of these skills that he's been flexing into that context, because it is a very specific skill set, running for president, the debate stage, separating yourself from all these other people with bigger names like Gavin Newsom. We'll see if he has it in him. But the dude clearly wants it. We've had inside sources in our ear telling us for a couple months now that Ro Khanna is basically all but officially running for president, like he is going to run. So yeah, we might be talking a lot more about Khanna. And while I definitely have my suspicions and skepticism of aspects of his career, as we just referenced, I happen to agree with you. I think that at this point, out of the candidates that are like clearly going to run, he might be the best.
Yeah, and obviously, that our analysis will change as more evidence and more information unveils itself. If AOC launches a fucking bid for presidency, I'll compare their platforms and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, Gavin and I are socialists. I don't believe Khanna identifies as a socialist, but looking at a Democratic primary, Khanna is saying all of the things for the most part that I really want a Democrat to say in the primary.
Yep. And we have Cenk Uygur to thank for creating Khanna. There would be no Khanna if it weren't for Cenk Uygur, as he reminded us not that long ago. So shout out to Cenk.
Shout out to you. And do we have anything else that you wanted to chat about today, Gavin, before we get into some super chats?
I think that basically wraps it up, in my opinion.
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there. Be there.